Hello and a warm welcome here out of Imola, out of the digital commentary box. Next to me is Jonny Simon, I'm Chris de Jong, and we're back at FSR for a brilliant day of racing at a brilliant track. What is your opinion about the circuit, Jonny?
Well, it's such a scintillating venue for round 4 to take place at. It's one of the rare anti-clockwise venues as well, the Imola. And I think it's around 15 turns, it's 4.9 kilometers, and we only got a single DRS zone for this round, however, and it's a very short circuit, very much like Monaco, so overtaking will be very difficult this round.
It will be, and as we are going into Q1, I'm pretty curious if we will see some surprises up to the pack. Obviously, there are some people who have to prove something, rather for themselves this time. I believe it was Jorrit Boshoff last weekend. Oh no, it was Jeroen Kwekel who didn't participate, right, in last week of last race.
No, I think it was Malaysia that he missed out on, but he didn't make Q2 in China. It was, I think, along with Alessio Campos and Adrian Falcon, 3 main contenders who didn't make Q2 in China. So they'll be hoping now in Q1 at the moment. We've got about just under 9 minutes left, that they'll want to make it through and set those banker laps early.
Indeed. Yeah, setting a banker lap here is really important, as it is on each circuit, and it's very nice to have an early time in that you think, okay, this is a good time to improve on. As I said, that Alessio Campos just crossed the finish line, and he finds himself into turn 1.
One of the first drivers to cross the line and set his lap. He's coming up to the turn 5-6 section, the Villeneuve section, and very difficult now, very easy to lock up that left front. He comes across to the hairpin, downshifting to 2nd gear, so normally you can take 3rd gear depending on your setup there in Q1, so he'll have to push early now and set that banker lap, as we said.
Yeah, he sure has to, and a lot of drivers here are trying to prove themselves. Of course, I mean it has been the 4th race of the season. There are 12 races in total on the calendar, and as we've bitten off the start of the championship, it's nice to see how drivers are settling in and are getting used to the new mod this year. And I'm curious to see how this will develop.
Yeah, we've got a great field of drivers, and it's been a jaw-dropping start to the season. And Campos now comes across the final corner, so he's going to be the first to set a competitive time and prove what the pro drivers can do. It's a 1:21.5, but Klopp right behind sets a 19.7. So Renz Klopp, who was beaten to pole by Bojov in China, is hoping to make that P1 in Imola.
Yeah, and it's interesting to look at the times. Yesterday we've seen 19.0 in the A series, of course, and well, let's see if we might see 18s today. Would be a little bit of a punch to the face, but nevertheless, Klopp with a 19.7 at the moment, the pace setter here. And I don't think Alessio Campos was looking for a 21.6 there, but he has a lot of spare time to make another lap. At the moment, Christopher Schroer goes into 2nd with a 20.2, 5/10 behind of Klopp. Will we see another Twister domination here? I hope we have some more fighting along the way, though.
Twister doing a great job as usual, and as you said, Christoph Schroer is in 2nd position. Don't forget, he was our pole sitter in the first round in Bahrain, so once again, maybe the surprise will spring itself in Imola.
Yeah, let's hope for. Talking about Twister racing, Jonathan Holmes before the race confessed to me that he didn't do as much testing as he would like to have done. He finds himself in 10th place with a 21.2, 1.5 seconds behind his teammate Renz Klopp. If I have to judge him by this first lap, he has to struggle to make it into Q2. But yeah, at the moment he's 10th.
Someone else who seems to be struggling is Bojov. He's about almost a second away from Klopp, and he backs out of this lap. So Bojov already, with 5 minutes to go in Q1, is out of this lap. And just reminding you, it's a 10-minute session in Q1. The top 10 only go to Q2, so there's no Parc Fermé rules, and you can use a free setup and free tyre choice. So now Bojov starts his lap, and you'll hope to capitalize on a good time.
Yeah, he was actually in his out lap there, and he's going out to the Tamburello corner and onto the Villeneuve corner. Both have been changed a lot in the past years for obvious reasons. But he sets himself a nice first sector time. Let's see if he can continue with this. Boshoff, obviously a guy that you would expect to be in the Q2s.
Definitely in the Q2s. He's a 10th off Renz Klopp's personal best of a 19.7. So we'll watch Bojov now really extracting every single millimeter of the track. So he's coming across now, exiting slightly well. We'll see his sector 2 time. It's a 28.6 compared to Klopp's 28.5. So he's 2/10ths down the road from Renz Klopp, but it's looking like a good lap to make it in to Q2 for Bojov. As we said, just set those banker laps early and be comfortable for Q2.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what his time is, as Thomas Coriala almost got in the way. He got out of the track limits there. Let's see what Boshoff can do. He will jump up to 3rd place, 2nd place even. 18.
Wonderful last sector.
8. Yeah, nice last sector, so he definitely made up some time there. He should be safe now.
Yeah, and Haroon Kweekel is in 4th place now. Partington shoves him down to 4th. He was in 3rd. So we're seeing some very quick times now. Some guys who weren't particularly quick in China, that's Partington and Kweekel, are now in 3rd and 4th. Daniel Brewer, as usual, has got great pace. He's in 5th. And then we've got Schur, Swerkus, Filosa in 8th. That's Hernandez in 9th. And then Falcon rounds out the top 10. So it's up to Coriala and Jonathan Holmes, one of the 3rd in the championship, I think. So one of the main championship contenders. And along with Alessio Campos, have to put in a nice lap with 3 minutes to go to make it into Q2.
Yeah, they still have the time to do it, and only a few tenths behind number 10 driver Adrian Falcon at the moment. The time they're looking for is 1:24.09, but Adrian Falcon going out on track again, he can still improve. So nice tail of this Q1. Who will qualify? Jonathan Holmes now looking for an improvement there, coming around on the back straight. Let's see if he can get himself up. He's currently 12th, and he did not improve.
So he flicks on the DRS and maxes out at 320 kilometers an hour. That's a good straight line speed for the race, and he takes those first few corners, the new section of the Tamburello. So it's looking like a great first sector at the moment, but we'll have to check his time as he crosses the exit of this corner right here. So Jonathan Holmes manages a 22.2. That's on par with Renz Klopp for pole. Great job by Jonathan Holmes. Very wobbly on the exit, but he gets the traction in the end. So that rear roll bar is set very loose, and then the blind corner entry, nice and smooth as he does this. A good lap so far from Jonathan Holmes. Coming across the very tricky braking zone right now. He stuffs it up a little bit, but manages to pick it up through the exit. So now sector 2 for Jonathan Holmes. It is a 28.9 compared to Bojov's 28.5, so he's lost 4/10ths in that sector alone. This is where it all matters. I think Jonathan Holmes will make Q2, but he won't be up there for P1 at the moment. Looking like a good lap so far as he's going to exit the final Revazza curves. And a bit wobbly as well, so a bit of a scruffy lap towards the end.
Not a perfect lap, but will it be enough? 9th place, 20.3. At the moment he's clear, but there are still people behind him who are up for a move. Adrian Falcon now finds himself in 11th place, but sets a personal best first sector.
Yeah, so that's home session over. He's going to have to wait and see if he makes it into Q2. He's in P9. Falcon at the moment is in 11th on a good lap, maximizing the track limits. So he's got a 10th to find on Hernandez in 10th.
Indeed, and as we just said, that Thomas Coriala is still up for another flyer here. Alessio Campos is done, he's in the pit, so he will start the race probably in 13th position, and well, behind there people are struggling for each tenth to find a better spot on the grid. But the battle here is on for the last Q2 spot. Who will make? Or will it
So
be
Falcon across the line.
He will
goes into 4th place. What a lap!
He had to deliver, and he delivered under this pressure, and that puts Jonathan Holmes in 10th spot. He will be nervous now if he will still be in. Carlos Hernandez now in 11th place, coming through sector 2. Thomas Coriala aborted his lap, so it's now Carlos Hernandez who can spoil the Twister party, having 4 Twister cars in the top 10 again. Here he comes, back on the back straight. Can he do this? Carries a lot of momentum into the last corner, back on the final straight. Carlos Hernandez. He can improve. He's in 8th. Pushes Jonathan Holmes out in 11th place and finds himself into Q2. Brilliant job from Hernandez here.
Brilliant job in the clutch, and pushes Holmes into 11th. That's not going to do him any well for the championship, as Klopp and Bojov ahead will break away from him if Holmes doesn't make up for his poor qualifying in the race. We still have, I think it's Vicjentovic crossing the line right now, but he doesn't improve, so he'll stay P14. So that's essentially our top 10 done. And that's Renz Klopp in first. Daniel Brewer's just gone second with a 19.6. So great job from him. Quickel improved as well. He's in 5th, and in between them is Mikko Swokos in 3rd and Jurek Bojov in 4th. Partington in 6th, Falcon in 7th, Hernandez in 8th with that brilliant job at the end. Christoph Schur in 9th, and Sebastiano Filosa is in 10th. Looking forward to Q2, Chris.
Indeed, and as you were just mentioning during the onboard with Jonathan, that little wobbling mistake at the beginning of Sector 2 might have cost him, although it's easy to say after the qualifier what should have been done. I'm sure he tried his best. Nevertheless, we're making ourselves up for Q2, and well, interesting to see who will take pole position. Definitely when Daniel Brewer just set a really fast lap time, only half a 10 behind the Twister racing car of Renz Klopp. So Epic Chronic Racing team here looking strong.
They picked up Daniel Brewer well, Avid Chronic. They got a great driver. He's got amazing qualifying pace, so hopefully that translates to race pace as well. He did a good job in China. So I think as well, Mikko Swokos is 4th in the championships up there, so don't forget about him for faster than speed. And of course, Jurek Bojov, our current championship leader, in 4th. Lots of people, lots of drivers who are got a great chance to get pole at the moment.
Yeah, the pack is really close together in the top 6, top 7. It's only 3 tenths to spare. So I think we're all really curious, and it's now to see who will take the cherry here and be the first guy out on track and set the banker lap for everyone. At the moment, nobody is making a run for it though. So it's a tiny waiting game. Obviously, there are only 5 minutes into the qualifier, so you can choose to go out on the last moment. But well, at the moment, it's Adrian Falcon going out on track alone, and the other 9 drivers just waiting.
Yeah, so you got that bittersweet decision. You go out early and you stay in your rhythm from Q1, and you can set that lap, or you can wait till the end and have more grip to set your Q2 lap. Remember, you have to run your race setup here because there's Parc Fermé rules, so you're going to have to run your radiator size, your brake duct size for the race. The 60% distance race, that's 38 laps around here, and a top 10 only for Q2. 1 lap only, and it's 5-minute session, so much shorter. These drivers are going to really get the job done as quick as they can. Must start the race on the tyre that you qualify on as well. So Falcon's elected to go on the super softs, and we have the soft compound as well for this round. So the super softs marked by the red and the softs by the yellow, in case you were wondering which tyre was which. And almost every drivers on track except for Klopp, Partington, Hernandez, Schur and Filosa, so my mistake, only half the drivers out on track at the moment.
Yeah, and the tire choice here is a really great one. Super soft and softs are obviously the most softest and most grippiest compounds, but they last rather long here. In China, of course, you had the big long corners to the right that were just eating your tire wear. But here it's really balanced, and you don't have tire degradation at a high level.
Yeah, much lower speed, so there's less loads on the tires. However, it's very easy to lock up around this track as you need to push to the limits. So Falcons are first across the line and hope to set a great lap. Looks like a good lap so far for Q2 for Adrian Falcon.
Yeah, he barely made it into in Q2, saying that with only a few seconds to spare he crossed the line. But nevertheless, he's in here and he got a chance to prove himself. And well, let's see if his sector times are any good. 22.3 in sector 1, gets caught out a bit at that turn. 28.5 in sector 2. Now it's all about sector 3. How can he do?
Looking good for a 1:19 lap. And remember, this is on his race setup, so great job from Adrian Falcons, and he brakes towards these final couple of corners. The weight shifts to the front of the car, and he has to be very smooth on the exit. Slightly misses the apex for the final corner, but he picks it up a little bit well, but he's going to flick on the DRS, gain that extra half a tenth as he crosses the line. 1:19.8, great lap from Adrian Falcon. So that's the benchmark for the drivers at the moment.
Nice, Adrian Falcon for the Go Speed Racing team delivering under pressure here, and it's now for the others to well, show us what they're made from. Brewer, Suokas, Boshoven and Partington now on the fly.
Suokas pulled into the pits on his lap, so he's out for Q2. Quakel goes first, P1 19.7. Next across the line, I think, is Daniel Brewer now. He's coming across the final corner. So what can he do for Avid Chronic? Remember, his race pace is a bit slower than his qualifying pace. He's a great qualifying master, but he's only P3 with a 20.0, so a big mistake on his lap. He did a 19.6 in Q1.
Yeah, close fights here. As Boshoven comes around the last corner now. Let's see what he can do. Can he beat his teammate? He will go up to second spot, so 1/10 behind Jeroen Quakel. Jeroen Quakel on provisional pole here, but we still have people like Rens Klopp to show us their lap time. So
Rens Klopp on a good lap, and Mike Partington's next across the line. He's going to be followed by Christoph Schor. He's very closely behind. Hopefully he's not affected by the dirty air, but Mike Partington now, as he comes across the non-chicane version of Imola is being used at FSR. Across the line, only 5th, so he's the slowest out of the runners at the moment, only just. And then Christoph Schor becomes the slowest of them, so he's 1 minute 20.3, and then Hernandez
kills
P7.
Rens Klopp now coming over the finish line. It will be close. Will he take pole position? He won't. He's at second spot here with a 19.786, 50 milliseconds away from Jeroen Quakel.
Oh, not good enough for Rens Klopp. So Quakel showing that he still has the pace after a disappointing round in China. He didn't make Q2, remember, and now he's made Q2 in Imola, and he's got pole position. Wonderful job. Velosa is about half a second off the pace, so unless he can make that up, I think it's all set and done for Quakel. A great job for pole position, so hats off to him. And Velosa now across the chicane. I'm not sure what position he'll challenge for. It doesn't look like a terrific lap yet, so he's backed out, and he will start 10th.
No, I think he will start 9th. Mikko Suokas obviously aboard this lap. Well, he could have driven on and gained that 1 place from Suokas, but he didn't. So Suokas finding himself in 9th place without a time. Sebastian Velosa in 10th. And Jeroen Quakel, our racing driver, in pole position for Go Speed Pro Engineering. Rens Klopp finds himself in 2nd place, Jorik Boshoven in 3rd, Adrian Falcon with a brilliant lap on 4th, Daniel Brewer in 5th, Mike Partington in 6th, and Christopher Schroer in 8th, and Carlos Hernandez is in, oh no, he's in 8th, and Christopher Schroer in 7th, my bad.
So as we said, it's very important to qualify higher up. And that's important for Quaker, as in China he got caught up in the start line incidents from missing out into Q2. So that's interesting for Jonathan Holmes now, who's starting in 11th. Will there be any start line incidents like China? I doubt so. But he's in mid-pack and he's in the danger zone, so it's up to him to avoid the collisions and make it up back to the front where he normally is.
Yeah. Yeah, the start here will be really important, and I don't hope we will see a lot of chaos into turn 1. Although, well, it has room for it. I mean, it's not a nice corner to pass. It's like turn 1 in Monaco. It's chaos. But let's see if they can maintain their emotions and give each other just that little bit space that is required to pass the corner all safely.
It'll be difficult as well because compared to China, the grid spots are very close to each other here at Imola. So it's up to the drivers to watch out if anyone's got a higher first gear and they might bog down off the grid. So it's important to make sure you're aware and got good reaction times to pull away and pull to the side and make sure you make sure you have clean overtaking throughout that first couple of corners.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what will happen here. Obviously, Jeroen Kwekel and Rens Klopp will be fighting each other. They are only separated with margins that are really, well, basically next to nothing. And it's really what we want to see. I personally don't want to see a Twister guy with the 20 seconds lead here. Obviously, Twister will think differently when I say this. But we want to see some racing. We have the perfect track. We have the perfect league here to show some really exciting racing here today.
I think it's set itself out perfectly, this script at the moment, because we've got Twister in 2nd and 11th. And they're going to have a big fight with, especially Rens Klopp. He's got 3 Go Speed cars around him, so it's not going to make life any more easier for him, especially when he's getting bullied around through the first couple of laps. So the Go Speed drivers have to make sure Rens Klopp doesn't pull away in the lead. And as the drivers get ready for warm-up now, so they're going to add that heavier fuel load. That's around probably 130 litres for this race, similar to Ace Race 1. So the strategies are going to be similar as well. We're talking about, if you're going to start on the super soft, the one stop seems to be the winning strategy. It was yesterday. Most of the front running drivers did a one stop. You'll pit around lap 16 for that window. If you want a two stop and start on the super soft, that's going to be lap 10 and then lap 24. So those are the pit stop windows to look out for come the race.
Yeah, nice that you say this. And what I wanted to point out for Rens Klopp, he finds himself in 2nd place, but the 1st, 3rd and 4th place on the grid are all occupied by Go Speed drivers. If they will work together, they can make life really hard on the track for Rens. And let's see if he can keep his head cool.
Let's quickly run down the Drivers' Championship for you. It's Bojov in 1st place. He's on 116 points. Closely followed by Rens Klopp on 111, and Jonathan Holmes is on 98 in 3rd, and then further behind it's Mikko Swokas in 4th place for Faster Than Speed, and then Daniel Brewer in 5th, Campus in 6th, and then the Teams Championship, it's Twister first, followed by Go Speed, and then Faster Than Speed. Abercrombie and Netrex are there tied for 4th as well, and it's I think in the Teams, Twister's leading by a substantial amount of points, and then Go Speed's right behind. So it's an important round at the moment for Go Speed, and it looks like they can close that Team's Championship down.
Yeah, well, they have a front row lockup on both rows, with, as I said earlier, Rens in between. But they can score some awesome points here, and it's really for the other teams to respond to this. But we haven't started the race, anything can happen. So let's see where it takes us.
Definitely see where it takes us, and I'm thinking about that championship battle for the moment though. I mean, remember Rens Klopp, I think he missed qualifying in Bahrain in round 1. Will that cost him come the end of the year? What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. I mean, he did have a great race there, and it made him really confident, and he replied with some nice races, including a victory as well, and pole positions. And I think he will have the spirit to to keep his focus and make not much mistakes. He's a very concentrated driver, I believe. So it's interesting to see the battle between those Dutchies fighting each other on the track.
And as we talk about that, race pace between Bojov and Klopp is only 2/100ths of a second, the difference, both setting 1 minute 22.4s. And I just can't wait for this race at the moment. I mean, it's already been a cracking start to the season, and now we're going to be fed even more entertainment. I'm looking forward to as well for Hiranquicko, because I really think he's capable of a lot more. Remember, he did finish, I think, in second in Bahrain, so it's up to him now to prove that he's still got it.
Yeah, and Sebastian Velosa finds himself up to the front runners now with a 23.493, only 25 tenths of 25 thousandths of a second of first guy Rens Klopp in the warm-up. He didn't have a particularly good qualifier, Sebastian Velosa, but he's definitely up here in the race pace. If he can make some early positions, he might get us by surprise.
Yeah, you're absolutely right in mentioning that, because Velosa does have terrific race pace. He started off the season, the first time I saw him racing was in Malaysia, and he was racing very well, defending and overtaking while managing the tyres. And once again, starting in 10th, he's mid-pack, so he's going to play into the hands of... he's going to maybe play to the outcome of the race, I was meant to say, in that if these front runners do pit early and they're stuck behind Velosa, because he is capable of holding them off.
Yeah, he sure is, and it will be a nice fight, I'm sure. Everything could be decided by the start as well. I really hope we don't see incidents, but I'm afraid it's kind of inevitable in this turn one. But let's see, we got some chaos yesterday, but these drivers have shown a great example with previous races on how to give each other just enough space whilst still having a nice battle to each other. So I'm almost anxious for the start, and as our race director Carlos Martin says, we're moving to the race in about 1 minute, so well, here we go.
I just want to make sure we clarify this new pit lane entry. I'm trying to find someone who's going across the line. It's Mike Partington now, if we switch to him. So we go on board with him to the right. Now he's just entered that new pit lane entry, so normally that would be, in Formula 1, would be the entrance to the chicane, but now in FSR it's just used as the pit lane entry, and the left side of the track is used as a long straight, so we're looking for some good overtaking across that DRS zone that's been implemented there.
Yeah, the Imola circuit got changed a lot, but having one DRS section here is definitely the right decision. I mean, the straight is pretty long, and together with DRS there is plenty of room to overtake, as long as you have that top speed and that 7th gear ratio high enough. But yeah, let's see how it will go.
So the race is almost about to get underway. Remember, you've got to make sure you have that fuel involved. In China, I think Bojov forgot to calculate fuel in for the formation lap, so that explained his slow pace in the second stint. If you were wondering, he just dropped off rapidly from the leaders, so hopefully now he makes sure he doesn't make the same mistake. And I'm sure he's prepared though, so it's going to be another cracking race. But once we get underway, and just wondering about this delay for the moment. We do have some rear grid penalties. That's for James Sadler and Jordi San Andres and Clayton Elmis. So that's 3 rear grid penalties, all for separate incidents, and 2 pit lane starts for David Chidillo and Victor Ivanov for more incidents, which rightly so. They obviously did break the rules, so they'll have to unfortunately take a penalty for that.
Yeah, they have to. And as the warm-up is ending with 2 minutes to spare, there's a small discussion going on, but we are preparing to start the race here. Who's your top 3, Jonny? Who do you say will be the top 3 for this race? What's your prediction?
I think it'll be Klopp, Quakel, Bojov in that order. I just don't think they can. I just don't think the Ghost Speed drivers will be able to hold off Klopp. He's too fast and too good. But it will sort of act as to motivate them. You know, he's shown exhilarating pace, and it's up to them to stop him. So now the drivers will be set on the grid, and we'll round out the top 10 for you. It's Haroon Queequel, wonderful job for pole position, and followed by Rens Klopp. He's alongside Queequel in on that front row of the grid for Twister. Jorik Bojov and Falcon for Ghost Speed. They round out the second row of the grid, and then Daniel Brewer's in 5th, the Avid Chronic. Mike Partington in 6th. Christoph Schur is in 7th. Hernandez 8th. Swerkus and Filosa on that 5th row in 9th and 10th. And then Chris, round out the rest of the grid for us.
Yeah, sure. It's Jonathan Holmes in 11th place. Thomas Coriala in 12th. Alessio Campos, who took the brilliant podium, finds himself now 10 place lower on the grid in 13th. Migaito Vicentovic in 14th. Timu Valkeraj, I think that's not pronounced good, but he's in 15th. Victor Marino in 16th. Dewald Nel in 17th. Rando Tam in 18th. Dmitry Zaharov from Team Horizon Pro in 19th. Edward Correa in 20th. Ben Eastman in 21st position. George Winter in 22nd. James Settler in 23rd. Jordi San Andres Salvat in 24th. Clayton Nelms finds himself on the back of the grid in 25th, together with Viktor Ivanov in 26th. So a full grid today, 26 drivers here, a lot more than yesterday. So I hope we get some more action today.
Be lots of action. We had a pre-qualifying session and a couple of drivers missed out. I'm not sure who they were, but unfortunate for them, they won't be able to race. They weren't up for the pace. I think they were quite a long way off the pace as well, so they're going to have to work hard to make up for that. And talking about new drivers for this round, we have in 15th, that's Timu Valkijavi. That's not even close to probably what it's pronounced, but he's a new driver for Avid Chronic, the grey team at the moment. So maybe he can spring some surprises, as Daniel Brewer does for Avid Chronic in 5th at the moment.
The strategies are quite the same, I think, in the top 16. Everyone in the top 16 are starting on the super soft tires. Dewald Nel on 17th and Rando Tam behind that are on the soft tires. So definitely a lot of same strategies.
Similar strategies. Remember, that first pit stop window for a one stop is lap 16, and if you're going to two stop, it's going to be lap 10, and you're going to go onto the soft tires, and then it's going to be lap 24 for another stint on the soft tires, as every driver prepares to warm up those brakes, warm up those tires for the start. And it's lots of nerves. What does every driver go through this moment, Chris?
Well, definitely anxious, I don't know how to say it, but definitely nervosity before the start of the race. Jeroen Quakel just lines his car up as the last guy on the grid still is passing just the DRS mark. So it's really nervous for him now before the lights are coming up. And if he still has the nice brake temperature into the first corner. As we are getting lined up for the grid, the 4th race of the season in FSR Pro is about to start with Jeroen Quakel on pole position and Rens Klopp in 2nd place. But who of those guys will dive into the first corner as first? Waiting for the lights now to come on.
All drivers are in place, ready, set,
and we're
prepared
off.
To go.
And a great start from Quakel, and Rens Klopp getting jumped by the start instantly. And smoke coming out. Oh, and there are drivers off. Massive crash there. And more drivers ahead of. Vicentovic is off the track, Pelosa is off the track, Timu is off the track. As some drivers are smoking as well. Maybe they have stayed stationary too long on the grid, but apart from those two incidents, really clean start for the front guys, which is nice. Jeroen Quakel already has a half a second lead over his teammate Jorik Boshoff, who managed to jump Rens Klopp. for second place. So Klopp finds himself in third now. And well, he's looking for an answer to reply.
Quakel's off the track, so now Bojov's going to attack and take that lead, maybe through the chicane. He can't do it, so Quakel's going to take and hold on to the lead. And Klopp unfortunately got jumped, but he's got a great run of the chicane, and now he's going to have to defend well from Horik Bojov. Coming into the Rivazza curves. He's going to have to make the move stick onto the straights. And they've dropped Mike Partington, who's in fourth. Another great start from Mike Partington. He's up to fourth. So Falcon's in fifth. Daniel Brewer's dropped down to sixth at the start. Schuler remains in seventh. And across the line, Klopp's very close to Bojov.
And no DRS at this moment, but he still has the slipstream. Boshoff still has the slipstream of Quekel too. So, but let's see. In the 1 lap time, in the next lap, or in 2 laps time, then we will have DRS if close enough. But what a hectical start for Quekel there.
Hectic start, almost lost the car. Coming into, I can't remember what turn number it is. It might be turn 10, yeah, turn 9, 10. So the very rapid changing direction of corners. We're coming up to it now after this corner. So he's pulling away now at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake as he brakes. Very difficult corners to change direction rapidly, and he's pulling away from Bojov. Doesn't make the mistake this time, so it shows that he has got terrific pace. Hopefully those tyres hold up for this first stint.
Yeah, indeed, and the Rens Klopp not losing sight of Jorik Boshoff here. We will have a battle on our hands, I can guarantee you.
No, Schurer spun. Christoph Schurer spun, and he's lost that 7th place, so he's down into 14th. And I think Vicjentovic is going to pass him as well, so Christoph Schurer is going to go down to 15th. Unfortunate for him, he lost it coming out of the chicane, jumped up. The car just jumped and started dancing around the curves. Obviously you need to make sure the car holds itself like a piano and is very in sequence, so that's where the suspension comes into play.
And Brewer gets contact together, oh no, with a Ghost Speed car. They go both off the track and sustain a lot of damage, I'm sure. It's Falcon and Brewer who made contact. That's a really unfortunate accident there, and really a miscommunication on the track between both drivers. As Alessio Campos now is in 7th place, and Jonathan Holmes in 6th. They made great starts, and they take advantage of the chaos that is going, that was going on in front of them.
So wonderful by Jonathan Holmes into 6th. I think looking at the replay of that, I think it was Brewer who maybe slightly turned in on Falcon. I'm not 100% sure, and Falcon on the first lap went off into the Tamburello corner, and the second lap as well. Not a good start for him, but for some reason he's still in 9th, so he's got away with that poor start. And Brewer's right behind him again, so this time if he's going to make the move stick, he's going to have to do it cleanly. But the front 3 are in formation at the moment, still Quakel, Bojov and Klopp.
Information and in the groove as well, as Mike Partington can barely hang on, but he is hanging on still, and behind that there's a big gap already to Mikko Suokas. We had the DRS effect now for Boshoff and for Rens Klopp, but because Boshoff is still within the 1 second margin between his teammate, he could counter him with DRS as well. So interesting battle coming up in the early stages already, as Coriala hits Jonathan Holmes into the corner, into the Villeneuve corner. Adrian Holmes will not be pleased with that and has a lot of damage onto his front wing. This was not a good move from Thomas Coriala. He will definitely regret that.
Yep, just T-boned him, sorry, not T-boned, just rammed him up the back. So that's Jonathan Holmes' race. Not ruined. It happened in Malaysia. He went off the track. He still scored a podium, so don't give up. There's still 35 laps to go.
I would say ruined already. I mean, he has a lot of damage, and driving around with, well, compromising lines and acceleration. So this is not what he has been looking for, and his car is smoking as well. Jonathan Holmes having sustained a lot of damage in that accident. Really unfortunate.
Unfortunately for him. In the meantime, in the lap before, Brewer lost a lot of time, and he's down in 22nd position. He spun off trying to overtake Falcon. So Bojov just overtook Kwekel for the lead. Wonderful job. And now Klopp is on the attack on her own Kwekel.
Kwekel. The brilliant move into turn 1 here.
Now he's still fighting back though, so Kwekel's not being dropped by Bojov at the moment. It's only 4/10 the difference, coming into the blind braking zone. It's a terrific battle at the moment with this top 3. Mike Partington's being dropped in 4th, so he's looking to have a quiet race there. Maybe if an incident happens, he might be able to capitalize on a podium spot.
Yeah, and Rens Klopp might be thinking, okay, these 2 Ghost Speed cars are battling with each other. I'll just let them battle and stick behind it with a decent pace, and I might catch them later in the race. Although he could have been driving his whatsoever off and just can't catch the Ghost Speeds. It's a matter of time before we know. But it's not really wise for Kwekel and Boshoff to fight each other on the limit. As Klopp is getting into position to take 2nd spot away from Kwekel with the DRS effect, takes the outside line here, has to be managed to be in front at the corner, leaves. Yeah, nice job from Rens Klopp.
No.
And Kwekel spins out of it. I don't think there was contact there. Rens Klopp left him in plenty of enough space.
He got a bit too power happy, her own Kwekel. The rear end stepped away from him, but now he's in 5th and he's going to have to make up for his mistake. He's behind Mikko Swarkas.
And as you said earlier, Mike Partington, now the laughing 4th guy from that pack, being in 3rd position.
So this is where we're going to see the very, very skilled drivers from just the very skilled drivers, as this track is very tight and very difficult to manage, and very easy to go off, I must say. And it's important. That's why these front 2, Bojov and Klopp, we see them up the front every race so far this season, and they're the ones who will show what it takes to win around Imola.
Yes, we already have some retirements on this race, which is really unfortunate. And Partington is off as well. Partington is off the track, but rejoins in a fashionable manner, almostly. But wow, drivers are getting caught out by this track, and I can say out of experience, it's a very nasty track to make mistakes on, but brilliantly designed, of course. But a lot of drivers nervous here.
A lot of drivers are very nervous, and looking at Rens Klopp with
sorry to
DRS.
interrupt you, Thomas. Coriola is off the track with a battle between 7th place with Adrian and Falcon. They left each other the right amount of space, but Coriola couldn't make that move stick, and he finds himself the loser of that fight, but is still in 8th position.
Still in 8th position. If we go back to the front though, I was going to say, Rens Klopp with DRS maxes out at 320 kilometers an hour. Bojov without DRS was on 305 kilometers an hour. Klopp is very close. I think this move might be done in the next few corners.
Yeah, I think coming onto the straight, Klopp will have plenty of room to spare to get into that DRS activation zone. And as you pointed out just a second ago, that 15 km an hour top speed difference is really paying off. And as we are saying that, here we go, DRS is open for Rens. Will he take the lead of this race? He's gaining. So on the outside of the track, definitely left the door open, but it could also be a message like, Rens, if you try to make a move, I'll just steer in. This corner is mine at this moment. So Rens Klopp probably waiting for another lap to try with DRS.
He's got another lap. He's got another 31 laps to try, but he wants to get it done within the next lap as quick as you can, and he's going to run away with the lead. That's the aim for Rens Klopp. That's the script he's trying to write for himself at the moment. Kwekel is keeping on with the pace. We thought he was struggling, but I think his tyre temps are now back up to what they should be. Runs a bit wide on the marbles. So at the moment we got 3 DNFs. Zaharov lost his rear wing, he DNF. Christoph Schur, a pole sitter from Bahrain, as we always say, he's DNF'd. And Clayton Elmes, one of the main guys in the championship, unfortunately has DNF'd as well. So that, along with Timu Kidiavi in his first race, is 1 lap behind. But when they have 3 DNFs at the moment, as Klopp is very far behind Bozhov, so we're not going to see Klopp just run away with the lead and pass Bozhov. He's going to have to fight for it.
Yeah, he first of all has to fight for the lead, and after that he can run away with it. But at the moment he has his hands full on Boshoven, and Boshoven is clearly giving a message like, I wanna win this one, and I'm not gonna make life any easier for you around here. And it's nice to see 2 different teams fighting for the victory here. Almost in a Mercedes style, because they're already so far ahead of the rest of the pack. Obviously, also because Quico had that incident, unfortunately. But yeah, nevertheless, they're far ahead.
Quico almost collected Jordi San Andreas Salvad coming into the hairpin. Lucky that he didn't do that as he was lapping him. And he's not catching Sorkas as quick as we thought he would, so he got pole, but his race pace doesn't seem to be on par with Bozhov and Klopp, who have dropped Partington in 3rd by 7 seconds. And it seems to be a 2-horse race at the moment. Klopp looks very close there.
Yes. Oh no, Ben Eastman re-enters the track and does that in a manner that he makes a guy spin. I don't know who it is at the moment. It's Viktor Ivanov. Eastman tried to rejoin the track, didn't pay any attention whatsoever from the guys behind him. And Viktor Ivanov finds himself to be the victim of that situation. Really amateuristic from Ben Eastman, sorry to say. But
something that you're going to have to develop yourself in the Pro Series is to make sure you race cleanly and consistently, and that's what we're looking for with the WC drivers.
Eastman now driving around with terrible damage on his car and has to point the wheel completely the right side to even get straight. I think it would be a wise idea for him with a smoking car as well to retire from this race to cause no more damage to other people's race, just like he already done. So, having that said, let's get back to the front runners again, because well, the tension hasn't been slightly decreased between Boshoven and Klopp, both setting similar sector times, and Klopp still finds himself on the gearbox of Boshoven. But there will be another DRS available for him because he's only a few tenths behind. So with that higher top speed might take the first place from Boshoven here. Let's see.
He's much closer.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, he's much closer, and Bozhov had a terrible run out of that final corner. So this is Klopp's big moment. This is the best moment he's had, as close as he's ever been. Oh, Bozhov defends up the middle of the track. I think that was a great move to overtake. Didn't give Klopp an option left or right. So Klopp sort of hesitated as he went to pull off the overtaking move. And this is as we enter that 2-stop window as we talked about. So I'm assuming these drivers will 1-stop, but maybe one of them will pull off into the pits and try the undercut.
Yeah, but definitely great defensive driving from Yorick Boshoven, and it's the way we love to see it. And the Rens Klopp has to well, maybe wait for the pit stops, or maybe go 1 lap earlier.
So yeah, Coriala is now the first into the pits of the main contenders for points. So he's assuming, yep, he will be 2-stopping. This is the 2-stop window. Back to the front though, Klopp looks very close to Bozhov. Much closer than he's ever been all race.
Yeah, but Coriala, by the way, has a problem. He's still stationary in the pits, so it's not looking shiny for him. Rens Klopp now indeed closer than ever on Boshoven. DRS goes open here as he finds himself onto the back of Boshoven. Boshoven already choosing a defensive line. And again, brilliant covering up from Boshoven here.
I'm liking this. I'm liking it because, oh, he's right behind him. So now, what I'm really liking about this is that these two drivers are fighting and swerving across the track, trying to pass each other and defend, and they're still pulling away from Mike Partington in third. So while battling, they're pulling away from the pack. And it's if these two were the Mercedes teammates in as Lewis and Nico, this would be much more tense. But they're still the top two in the championship. Bozhov's not going to let Klopp show that he's better and pull away in the lead. So Bozhov is showing that he still has it. He's not falling away. He's not going to let Klopp run away with the championship lead.
Indeed, and I'm also curious as Boshoff is going wide on the faster right. Well, Klopp is getting closer and closer each lap. He can almost tap the rear of Boshoff now. This is a really tense situation for him, as he has to compromise his exit as well. Will Rens Klopp be able to do it this time? I think he's too far back.
Too far back, and he might have him, I'm not sure. No, he doesn't. We go back to Huron Kweekel, who's caught up to Mikko Swarkas. He's in the DRS zone. I'm not sure. I don't think his straight line speed is too... No, it is pretty well. He's going to have 321 kilometers an hour, much better than Klopp. And Swarkas still keeps that fourth position. So Kweekel's getting close every lap. He's being impeded by Eastman.
Hoping he doesn't make a mistake. No, he does this rather nice. And Alessio Campos behind that on 6th place, also made up 7 places at the start. Great race for him for now.
Great race for him. Brewer's coming up to James Sadler, up the inside, brakes hard, Sadler defends well, Brewer can't make the overtaking move stick, and Sadler gets a very bad exit. This is for 11th and 12th, so not the points paying positions, or not the main points paying positions. Remember, you still get points for being a classified finisher. And as Georg Winter just exited the pits, someone else who could be on a 2-stop. I think Klopp's taking the lead. As we're speaking, he took the lead. Bozhov ran wide at the chicane, very wide. So Klopp now, after that mistake by Bozhov, that might cost him the win. Braked very late for the hairpin, he just slid through. And Klopp just took that position away.
Yeah, he was eager to do that as well. I mean, Boshoff had to drive defensively onto the DRS lines, but this was the mistake Rens Klopp was waiting for from Boshoff. And now is the question: can Boshoff get back in onto the back of the Rens and maybe charge for a counter attempt?
He'll be killing himself.
And there's
Bozhov after that.
Viktor Ivanov behind the back of them, trying to let the leaders of the race pass, and crashes into the barriers there. That might be game over for Viktor Ivanov. As Jeroen Kweekel now is really putting up the pressure to Mikko Swarkas. This is
Ivanov
really,
gets out of the way, just.
Yeah, just indeed. And like I said earlier, Ben Eastman definitely compromised Viktor Ivanov's race and gave him damage. But yeah, really unfortunate for him.
And yeah, as I said before, Bozhov will be killing himself for letting Klopp through that mistake.
Kweekel is off again. He went straight to the chicane there, giving Mikko Swarkas another room to breathe of 2 seconds. Kweekel not finding himself in any forms of comfort and struggling with the car, as I said that. So and again, does he have a problem here? Or can we consider him coming into the pit really soon?
He's been sliding around a lot. Remember, the first lap made that mistake, and then he had that spin later. So maybe those tyres are starting to give up, as Falcon pits for Go Speed in P7 is essential. Oh, I think he's missed his pit box by a long shot. He missed it by about 3 spots or so. And he finally gets in the pit box. Unfortunate for him there. So he's lost a heap of time.
That's going to cost him.
Pit stop.
As Brewer makes a move on Michalo Vicentovic. Hits the grass and spins. And as James Sadler cannot avoid him, he goes straight as well. What a chaos are we seeing here. Unbelievable. James Sadler is able to rejoin the track and finds himself in front of Adrian Falcon.
Hopefully Sadler doesn't have a stop-go for cutting that corner. He slowed down well as Falcon, whoa, very fast on those fresh tyres. Breezes past, screams past Sadler into 10th spot. So Falcon, after missing his pit stop, not too bad. He's still in 10th.
He still is. As Jorrit Boshoven pits from the leaders of the race, he is the first guy to pit and might go on an alternative strategy. Well, let's hope for him he doesn't overshoot his pit box. He does not. And if he manages to get a good clear exit on the pit and don't lose a lot of time behind the drivers in front of him, he might rejoin the track in first position if Klopp decides to pit as well. But I think Klopp can just reply by going into the pits this lap, and he will be safe.
Yep, this is the one-stop window. You're going to put on those soft tyres and then finish the race on those soft tyres. So the gap was about 1 second when Bojov pulled into the pits. Klopp's first sector time was a 23.4. Bojov's, we'll look for his second sector time. It's my mistake, so we'll look for the second sector time. So Klopp did a 29.9 as he comes through the chicane. We'll see if he pull into the pits.
I think so. His pit light is on, so we can expect Rens into the pit right here, right now. And he's really putting the hammer down this lap to well, maintain that gap he already had. And I'm pretty confident he will go into the pit, and indeed he will. Don't make any braking mistakes. Reds maximizing there.
Almost crossed the line at speeding. He braked very late, but Bojov was surprisingly slower on fresh tyres through the second sector. So I think Klopp, with a good pit stop here and a good exit, will have this lead as Partington pulls into the pits as well, and Sloka. So they're all pitting for that one-stop window.
Rens really created a bigger advantage than he already had compared to Boshoven. He already rejoined the track and finds himself in a comfortable first position with 4.5 seconds to spare. So, well, not giving any discredit to Boshoven, I think it's fair to say that Rens Klopp is just in another league.
So yeah, unfortunate for Bojov that he let him through with that mistake. Quakers and Campus pitted as well, and Victor Marino and Daniel Brewer in there now as well. So everyone is pitting for that one-stop window on lap 16. They're going to switch on to those yellow branded soft tyres and finish this race. And they're going to have to manage them well, though. There's still 22 laps remaining. Yeah.
And the driver who really dropped off is Jeroen Kwekel, and I don't like saying that. Because he's a really nice driver. Alessio Campos now finds himself still behind Kwekel now in 6th place. So Campos, with a not so fortunate qualify, does have a fortunate race, however, and he might be fighting for a top 5 spot. Would be awesome for his race then. But Kwekel not pulling away from Alessio, and with Mikko Suokas in front of him, he will have a tough race still ahead of him, and we're not even halfway yet, so plenty of action.
Plenty of action. So Alessio, the Italian, will try and come and close the gap to Kwekel. Kwekel runs wide through the second to last corner, and Campus is close, but not close enough. He'll have DRS.
But Kwekel's tires are pretty new, so we have seen this in the past, that he has had a lot more problems than other drivers, or relatively other problems, more problems than other drivers adjusting to the tires and also to the degradation. And he has a lot of moments in each lap now. I'm starting to get worried for him that he might get it wrong one time and get into the barriers, but let's hope for him he can stick it together.
Someone's rear wings on the track somewhere around this. So someone's had some damage as Daniel Brewer gets past Sadler in the meantime. So Daniel Brewer now making his way back up to the pack. He's in 10th. So he's getting into the top 10 after that unfortunate start for him. And Filosa pits now for the Venus Project Racing in 14th. Not the best race for him. We thought he'd be more into the mid-pack. I think it was Vicentevic's rear wing, and he's off the track now. And I think he might retire the car if he can't make it back to the pits. He's going to have to get out of the way of all the drivers coming through.
Yeah, definitely.
Guess what? Klopp's extended that lead to 6 seconds on Bojov. So unfortunate for the race. Not unfortunate for him, but unfortunate for the race that is, it could be all set and done from now with 20 laps to go. So Klopp may take this championship lead with a win here, and Bojov will drop down to 2nd. As Edward Quarry pits for Night Racing in 8th. And he'll essentially, I think he might still be in the top 10, however, only just when he comes out of the pits. So Jorg, Winter and Brewer pass him now, so he's in 10th now.
Yeah, well, he still has a lot of time to make up some positions with the precious tires at the moment on this track. I'm really looking forward to the battle for the top 5 as Mikko Swokas passes a back marker here below already. That's really unfortunate for him. But Kweekel is looking to make an attempt pretty soon on Swokas here for 4th place. And Alessio Campos now is dropping off a bit from Kweekel.
Coriala almost getting in the way of Renz Klopp's lead. The Klopp, I saw someone else as well when Klopp came out of the pits. They spun in front of him. I think it was Coriala as well, so twice now.
And
he's helped take it out of the way.
The Wild Nels off the track and a lot of drivers off the track today. But I don't know what happened there, but definitely not what he had wanted. He goes into the pit as well.
He's peeled off into the pits toward now. Unfortunately for him, he's in 19th spot. And Holmes, we haven't talked about him much. He's in 13th, making his way up, back up to the front. I think it was after Coriala gave him that little tap into the Villeneuve corners. So maybe he can capitalize on a few more points, because Swokas and Partington will be there to take that 3rd position away from him in the championship, as will Alessio Campos. Kweekel's dropped down a bit in the championship standings, but after a strong result here, he could still be back up there for those close podium finishes.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what will happen here. As Mikko Swokas finds himself now behind the back marker, which isn't making life any easy for him. Really tense situation to be behind the back marker and you're not sure if he noticed you. I think we all know that feeling.
Oh, and Hernandez now, as you said, that feeling, that very nervous feeling. Hernandez doesn't spin back onto the track, so a safe re-entry. And now Quick will have DRS. Will he be able to get past Swokas? This will be for 4th position.
No, the gap is too high, but maybe next time around.
Gonna have to keep that foot on the pedal, foot on the gas, and push. Oh, almost goes onto the grass. I think that might have just been lag on my screen. And at the moment, I think Coriala and Brewer in the meantime have retired from this race. So we have 5 retirements, still got 22 runners left in the race, 21 runners.
Yeah, a lot of drivers leaving the track and having accidents as well. And it is a demanding track in terms of concentration and skill, I suppose. But yeah, a lot of accidents here today.
Yeah, much like...
Daniel Brewer is in the pit in 13th position, and he has an unfortunate DNF for this race. He showed us some promising performance into qualify, but unfortunate to say this.
Quickles alongside Swokas into the Ravazza curves, braking downhill. Make sure to brake slightly earlier. He's gonna get the move, and he gets it done. I'm not sure if Swokas will have DRS though, because I think Quickle is ahead. Yep. So Quick will break away with DRS as well. It's worked out perfectly for him, and now he's in 4th. Gonna hunt down Mike Partington for that final podium spot, make up for that mistake that he made before Herran Quickle. Campos now gets past Falcon. Sorry, my bad.
No, Campos is now still in 6th position, but will he be able to claim a top 5 position back from Mikko Swokas?
I think it was, sorry, my bad. I thought Falcon was challenging Campos, but it seemed to be Rando Tam who was trying to unlap himself from Campos, surprisingly. But now Tam's backed off and let Campos settle into his own race. He's still got Swokas in 5th and Quickle in 4th in front of him, so you don't want to unlap yourself and interrupt his race.
Indeed, and as we said that we have more retirements. Thomas Coriala retired as well, and well, Ben Eastman still driving around with a very highly damaged car, and Brewer unfortunately had to DNF as well.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Partington spun. Will he keep that third position? Quakel's now coming across. He's going to take it from him. Moves up the inside, snatches it away. It doesn't give him any hope of keeping that third place. So Quakel's into the podium. Partington will be kicking himself for spinning in that first Rivazza curve, the penultimate corner of the lap. But now, if those tyres aren't going to hold up, Mikko Swarkas will take that fourth position away from him.
I believe he will, and Swarkas and Quakel show a steady pace now, although I thought Quakel has had some problems earlier, but he managed to sort them, I hope for him.
It's all falling into place. You know, it's not karma, but it's sort of similar where Quakel, you know, made that mistake in the first half of the race, and now it's just done well for him in the second half. And now Corey is coming across the line with DRS.
Yes, he is, and he's challenging George Winter. Although George Winter, he makes the defensive move stick and leaves Edward Corey behind it. But it didn't seem like George was trying any effort to create a defensive line for him.
That first Tamburello, the new Tamburello corner, as I think Jonathan Holmes is complaining about a stop go for some reason. I'm not sure why, but in the meantime, that Tamburello corner, you can either pass up the inside, or you can still defend on the outside. There's multiple ways depending on how you do it. It's a very good corner for some nice close racing.
Yeah, and coming up to it, you can easily make the driver in front of you choose a defensive line, so you can exit better going onto the Villeneuve corner. On that little straight there. So a lot of tactical play in there. As Jonathan Holmes almost finds himself back into the top 10.
Corey's gone off the track and he's lost that place to win. Oh, he's lost the place to Victor Marino in 9th. So Winter's been spared an extra life in 8th place. He's 30 seconds behind Falcon in 7th. So essentially this will probably be the best that he'll do. We're coming up to that pit stop window for the two stoppers for their final stop. They'll move on to the softs and then complete the race on that. We saw Sadler pit a couple of laps ago along with someone else. I'm not sure. Holmes pits. I think this is his stop-go penalty, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for him.
No, it's not a stop-go. He pits straight away, so I'm not sure how that works, actually. Maybe he's just... it's his normal pit, so might complete a stop-go next time around.
Yeah, let's see about that. We got a surprising back of the top 10 again. Victor Marino in 9th place and well, George Winter in 8th then. But a lot of drivers capitalized on the early mistakes from a lot of other drivers. And the drivers who have been on the track still. As I said that George Winter is off, chaos isn't stopping here. It's epic. He manages to keep his car going, but he loses a lot of positions. I think his tires are wrecked too.
No.
Finds himself in 10th spot, and the back marker overtakes him as well. I think that's Ben Eastman. I think he should be black flagged. I mean, he's causing a lot of incidents. George Winter back on the grass again. He has his car's too far damaged and he chooses to retire. So George Winter, our newest retire of this race, that sets the total on to 8 drivers as well in 24 laps. So every 3 laps someone is retiring somewhere.
And that's going to elevate James Sadler into 10th. Jonathan Holmes is in 11th and he's very close to Sadler, so that final points paying spot isn't over at the moment. And Quakel gained a bit of time on first place, Renz Klopp on that lap, watching the gap, but he's still 17.5 seconds behind, so it's not really going to change the outcome of that race too much. So George Winter is unfortunately retired from the race, and Filosa is there as well in 12th, sorry. So with a few more retirements, Filosa will be elevated into the top 10.
Yeah, he would definitely be hoping for that, of course, but yeah, it's to hope for other drivers that we still have some drivers remaining at the end of this race, because this is just drivers are going off everywhere. But at the moment it's still Rens Klopp with a great lead of more than 7 seconds onto second place Jorik Boshoven, and Jeroen Kweekel 10 seconds behind Boshoven as well. So definitely we had a nice battle in the early stage of the race between those three drivers, with 3 Go Speed drivers into the top 4. One Twister Racing car is looking to be the best of them.
Yeah, but as that Twister Racing driver is looking to be the best, he lost 3 seconds on the previous lap, and he's still losing time. I think he's just lapping cars. That might be the reason. He's losing time to the Go Speed cars of Bojov and Kweekel, as he's still got 2 more cars to lap. That's Ivanov and Sadler. And the gap's now 7.5 seconds. It's dropped down slightly. Kweekel's dropped it down to 16.8.
Yeah,
12 laps remaining.
Victor Ivanov going out of the way like it's supposed to be done. So great job from Victor Ivanov. It's never nice to be a back marker, but to spoil someone's race is really, well, a lot more nothing. So as you
Partington. Sorry to interrupt. Swokos got past Mike Partington there, so Swokos is in 4th.
Great job from him, and can Alessio Campos now get any closer? This is great for Faster Than Speed being into 4th place. Might even be a podium if we see some more action on the front guys. Should
be great action. I'm sure you'd want your NetRex driver of Campus to go into 4th place, because he's following closely behind. Partington struggled since that spin. He hasn't been the same as he was in the first stint. Campus is closing behind his gearbox very quickly, very aggressive into this section. He's right up to the back of him. Nice, excellent. He might get Mike Partington into the chicane. Look at this, he's going around the outside. Partington's going to have to leave him room now. Brakes, lets him go. What about the exit? Oh, they almost collide. They do, almost. And they keep it together, so wonderful job there. Campus now into the slipstream of Partington. Is he going to pull up the inside? No, he doesn't, so he's going to shape it up into the DRS zone across the main straight.
Indeed, Campus using his head here, and what a terrific driving here. Doesn't find the exit he was looking for coming out onto the back straight. Does have the DRS effect. Will he be able to close the gap towards Mike Partington? Mike is not showing a sign of the defensive line and says, "Come on through, Alessio, I open the door for you." But he just makes it work on the exit. Oh, and Partington
he spins.
Loses his front wing and is done. What an action here. It's not the first time for Mike, but tragic for him. He had such a nice perspective here for a good finishing position.
Oh, he was having such a good race after that blunder in China off the start line. And now he's going to have to make up for it in 2 weeks at Canada. Oh, yeah. And he's struggling to turn that car, so I'm assuming he's got some suspension damage as well.
I believe he's done, and it's really unfortunate to say that, but yeah, that's the way it is. You got to keep it onto the black bit, and well, it's really unfortunate for him.
So Klopp crosses the line with 10 laps remaining, and with that damage from Mike Partington, that'll elevate Holmes into the points. So the Origin Racing Academy driver Mike Partington has helped Twister for Jonathan Holmes, getting an extra point from this race.
Yeah, and what a race it has been, and the amount of action is almost unknown. So many drivers going off the track. I don't know where to start, but I hope I have to end with it soon, because we're not getting any more drivers left here. But brilliant racing here, and Mikko Suokas, Alessio Campos are the guys who took brilliant advantage of the guys crashing in front of them. And I'm sure Mike Partington is going to the pit now, but I'm also sure he will give himself a knock on the head and say, "What have I done?"
Breaks into the pit lane to 100 kilometers an hour, and so I'm not sure what to say.
The engineers will definitely have a big fix on his car. I mean, he will be stationary a long time. So, nevertheless, back to the front guys again. Rens Klopp is well, edging out his lead by quite a margin. It's a 22.7 he just put on the clocks. As Jorg Boshoven responds to that with 7/10 slower than that. So yeah, it's basically keeping the things together for Klopp and cruising home for the win.
Yep, time to pack up. Almost. It's not over yet, but essentially these drivers are just settling in and they want the race to end, because you will get nervous in these podium spots. But I know they're all very good, very skilled, very experienced, but those gaps are essentially 10 seconds apart from each other. So even Swerkus is dropping from Keukel in third. So I don't think there's going to be too many more major position changes, other than Holmes is chasing Sadler for 9th at the moment. That might get up to the back of him come the end of the race.
Yeah, and having said that, there are only 8 drivers left who are on the same lap of the leaders, showing what kind of pace we're talking about here of Rens, Klopp and the rest of the guys behind him. So I don't think a lot of drivers will do the required 38 laps, and I was really surprised to see so many drivers left. Although we have had a lot of DNFs already, and well, let's see if all drivers that are still in this race now can finish it as well. And I'm sure Suokas and Campus are not backing me up on that opinion, because they obviously want something to happen to the guys in front of them, because a podium is very realistic for them if something happens.
It will be if maybe an engine blows or a brake fails at any moment if these guys haven't set up the car properly. But as they do that, they're going to have to fight for it, because Campus is catching Swerkus in 4th.
Yeah, I think Keukel does deserve the podium, to be honest. I mean, he drove really steady. He made that one mistake, got him back to 5th position, but he fought his way back to the podium with capitalizing on that mistake of Mike Parlington. Yeah, he definitely didn't lose any fighting spirit after that accident.
Yeah, he's got the spirit, as you say, and we know he's got the talent as well, because it's just settling into the new series at FSR and settling into, we do know he's got a lot of fans and showing them that he is capable of producing good results. So it'll only be a matter of time.
Did you already ask his autograph, or not yet?
I won't admit to that. I'd hope it'd be the other way around, maybe, but
Nah, it's just a joke. But let's see now if they can hold on to this positions. It would be nice for the championship for them to score some points. And I don't think Jeroen Keukel will be disappointed with third place, considering his race. But yeah.
I'd be disappointed with that at all, as he unfortunately spun and he's still in 3rd, so good job.
Yeah, and Parlington just makes himself, well, maybe entree back into the top 10. He's back into 11th position, so he's not out of the race yet, and he has been able to repair the damage that was done to him by himself.
Because as we say that, he unlapped himself from Bojov, funnily enough, and now he's going to chase Holmes and Sadler, who are struggling with their tyres. They're battling with each other. This race isn't over for those final points-paying positions, and he's catching them rapidly as he comes through the final section of the track. We'll see the gap. I think Holmes and Sadler are crossing the DRS zone now, so Partington's only about 5 to 10 seconds behind. He'll close that within the next 6 laps, I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe so too, and interesting to see if a battle will occur there. And as the pack is sorted out, there are still a few battles going on, but I think we have our top 3 here. And you were right, for this moment at least, that Klopp will take it. I was hoping for a ghost speed here, but...
Are you paying me money? Because I had Bojov and Keukel in 2nd and 3rd as well. I'm expecting a paycheck after the race, maybe.
Yeah, well, you have to contact Saxon about it, I believe, but...
Oh, alright.
But no, it's well, we have seen some fighting, and it's not like Rens Klopp didn't have to do anything for it, because he had to fight his way through. He lost one position at the start and found himself behind the 2 cars. So yeah, he definitely made a move stick. And Mikko Sokas is off the track. Mikko Sokas is off, finding himself onto the grass. Has to give that position to Alessio Campos now, but still rejoins the track with a relatively small amount of time lost, but finds himself in 5th.
So he's cut the track as well, but obviously he is rejoining at this pace as well. Partington is catching both the duo of Holmes and Sadler for 9th and 10th. So as we said, 5 laps remaining as Klopp crossed the line earlier, and Partington might find himself in 9th place after his mistake. So not too bad, although he could have been in around what was it, 5th place when he spun.
Yeah, I do. If I had to choose between Partington and Holmes for this race to be in the top 10, I would choose Partington. But he has the advantage of fresher tires now, and he's definitely putting the hammer down to claim his place into the top 10. But Holmes now looking strong towards the back of Sadler. James Sadler now having to defend of Jonathan Holmes in a matter of corners now, and well, he'd be the first one to defend from Partington then.
Well, Sadler gets a bit twitchy on the exit, so these guys are running very loose cars, or maybe the tyres, those rear tyres, are just giving up earlier. So this is interesting now. Sadler and Holmes, are you going to work together and keep 9th and 10th, or are you going to fight each other and let Partington get 9th? It's a dramatic finish coming up. As Klopp crosses the line, there'll be 4 laps remaining for Rens Klopp. He's got a 13.5 second lead.
Yeah, amazing stuff from him. And Jonathan Holmes coming towards Sadler, but cannot quite do it. Really backshift of Holmes. Don't blow that engine, Jonathan. Come on.
Going to be very aggressive in these final laps. Remember, the dirty air isn't going to help. And Holmes has a low downforce setup, or a low downforce formula, 320 kilometers an hour. So it's not going to be easy through the corners with the dirty air.
Indeed, and as you just said, we only have 4 laps to go, and I'm really curious if the top 3 will be changed or unchanged. I don't see Rens Klopp making any mistake at this point, but Guico, we saw, did make some mistakes this race, but it's looking like he found himself the balance he needed again. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, as you I'm going to elaborate on what you said before, was that, I mean, maybe, rightly so, Bergeron did make a mistake, and that let Klopp just sprint away with an easy overtake in the lead. But without that pressure that Klopp produced, Bergeron probably wouldn't have never made that mistake. So it's a good job from Rens Klopp. It won't take away this great win from him. As Holmes is a bit twitchy on the exit, he's going to have DRS. Remember, he's got great top speed. Is this the time he's going to take 9th? 3 laps remaining. He'll have to do it soon.
Yeah, this would be the opportunity. James Sadler doesn't get into the defensive line here, but is still far enough ahead for Jonathan to make a move stick. And behind that, it's still Mike Partington, who is fighting for every inch on the track. And the last lap in the chicane as well. I mean, he was almost cutting it to be honest, but yeah, I mean, he's sure fighting for the 10th spot, and it's nice to see that he's still putting up the effort.
Nice to see that. As a Klopp, we haven't mentioned Victor Marino and Edward Corre in 7th and 8th. Klopp's just lapped Corre, but he's a bit close to Marino. So unless Marino makes a mistake, Corre will have 7th, but those positions will stay the same. Sadler's right up behind Corre as well. He's caught up to him, and Corre seems to be struggling slightly.
It seems so, and well,
Partington. Sorry once again, Chris, but Partington, his race, he's spun off, so he's not going to take any of that top 10 positions.
Indeed, he spun out of the difficult corner you talked about earlier, and in sector 2, and it's just end of race.
So Holmes now right onto the back of James Sadler. Sadler defending very hard. Holmes braking lightly. Oh, Sadler almost runs into Corey. So a three-way battle now. This is for 8th, 9th and 10th come the end of the race. There's 2 laps remaining. Holmes looks very close to Sadler. He's got no more pressure from behind as Partington spun. Good exit out of Villeneuve.
And he will still have another opportunity because he's close ahead, but Corey now really under pressure, and I think he is the one from the 3 guys that has the worst set of tires at the moment. But nevertheless, he's still in front, and with some defensive driving, he can keep the guys behind him behind. But let's see how he manages.
So Sadler took that little chicane there very well. He is Variante Alta, jump the chicane, straight lining it as much as possible. So Sadler it's an inconsistent gap between the 3 of them. Some of them are catching up in some corners and then they're breaking away in others. Sadler's going to have DRS though on Corey now. So Holmes will want a double overtake now. Remember, Klopp will cross the line now with 1 lap to go. So he's going to have to get this move done soon.
Yeah, as James Sadler is making a move onto Eduard Corey, and Jonathan Holmes can do nothing but watch. Corey just goes on the outside saying, I don't want to defend this position. I'm not in the position to defend at this moment because my tires are not that healthy anymore. And as I said, he almost spins off and lets Jonathan pass. So Sadler now in 8th and Jonathan in 9th.
So Corey demotes himself down to 10th with those terrible tyres he's on at the moment. Filosa in 11th, but we concentrate on Renz Klopp, who's on his final lap at the moment. Terrific race once again, Chris, from Renz Klopp. He's going to take the championship lead from Bojov. Bojov will demote himself to 2nd, and Quakel with a terrific performance. Even though he did make a mistake, he's slowly making progress and he'll be back into the championship fight. Jonathan Holmes, unfortunately, probably had the biggest drop out of anyone in that championship battle.
Yeah, I think he did. And as we are making up for that, Renz Klopp takes the victory here. Still has 1 corner to go and a big straight. And I think he will be really pleased with this. Already weaving around, showing the happiness. Renz Klopp of Twist Racing Pro takes the checkered flag here at Imola, round 4 of the FSR Pro season. Great race for him, and well, no discredit to Go Speed here with Boshoven and Jeroen Quakel on 2nd and 3rd. Boshoven crossing the line now, reasonably disappointed looking, and Quakel behind him.
Oh.
Well, he certainly
Quakel's delighted, yeah.
Yeah, he did go off the track, and it's nice for him to have another podium. It's not so nice for Alessio Campos because he is in 4th place, not in 3rd. But well, he started in 13th place and showing being 4th on the finish flag. Very nice race for him. As for Mikko Suokas, Adrian Velkon has had that incident. Like a lot of drivers, only a few drivers did not crash or went off the road. Victor Marino in 7th place, really a good result for him then. James Sadler managed to keep on to 8th place, keeping Jonathan Holmes behind him, so great job from him. And Eduard Corey in 10th place. So, what a race it was.
Another great race. I mean, I'm enjoying this every single minute of racing in the Pro Series. Quakel as well had made that mistake, still in 3rd, so of course he's going to be delighted with that. Bojov, of course, disappointment. He sort of just backed off the throttle coming across the line, so he knows that Klopp could run away with this championship. So maybe in Canada, if Bojov does get ahead of Klopp in qualifying, maybe he can hold him off there a lot easier. But Campos in 4th, I think he'd be delighted with that, holding off Swirkus. He took 4th from Swirkus with that mistake. And great race. I mean, you know, I expected that top 3. I'm not sure about you, Chris.
Yeah, really a great race, and everything lived up to the expectations. And although I have to say, a lot of incidents here. I think we have had 20 or 25 incidents. Yeah, but it's for the admin to decide if anything should be done with that. But looking at the positive signs, we have a great fight on our hands for the championship, and I'm really hoping that well, Rens Club loses his edge a little bit to the Ghost Speed cars, because I want to see some really close racing here, and we all want. It's nice to have had that in the first 15-16 laps of this race, but after that Rens just ran off with the lead and never looked back.
Twister looking very strong in ace yesterday, with Mohamed Patel and Marco Conti dominating that race, and I'm sure, and I think it's Klopp and Patel for Twister and WC, so they're looking good with the pace. Maybe they can pull a bit of surprises in the World Championship race. That's later on, that's in just over an hour's time. Stay tuned. Don't forget to register for the FSR Fantasy League. Thanks to Christian Smirnoff for getting that involved. So register at fantasy.formula-simracing.net and get involved. You only got a couple of hours time until the first WC race.
Definitely. We got a lot of action coming on in the WC, because yeah, Morant won 3 races out of 3, and yeah, well, he must feel the pressure now. I mean, he doesn't have any pressure to perform. I mean, he already showed us what he can do. But it's nice to see if anyone can respond. We saw Bono and the other drivers closing up the gap towards Morant. Will it be the same? Will it be closer? What will we see? Will we see carnage coming through the first corner and see some surprises? Definitely something to look out for. And of course, starting from this weekend, the FSR Fantasy League has come online. So we're all pretty curious at the Formula Sim Racing about your predictions. If you want to sign up, just go to formula-simracing.net and get yourself a seat in a managerial position and be the manager of your own team.
Yeah, we'll be having a lot of people probably be buying Morgan Moran with the dominant form he's in at the moment. I think he's racing for Netrex, is he not? So I don't think he was going to be racing this season, and out of nowhere he just comes and does that. But in the meantime, sorry, your drivers of the day, Chris.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, I have to give credit to Rens, not only because he won the race, but he didn't have the best start. Behind that, I would say Alessio Campos, not only because he's my teammate in Netrex, and not only because he's a really nice guy, but because he's one of the drivers who didn't make any mistake today. He didn't went off the track a single time, and he was the one claiming all those positions, and he kept his head cool. So definitely a nice 4th place for him. And yeah, really Rens Klopp and Alessio Campos for me. What about you?
Well, as you said, Alessio Campos starting in 13th. I mean, what could have been? Maybe he could have even taken Quickel for that final podium spot had he qualified higher up. And but of course, I mean, Rens Klopp, terrific job in 1st, and so too for Quickel in 3rd. Those are pretty much my top 3 driver performances. But I want Berghoff to fight back even more, because I mean, the championship battle was shaping up to be very well. We're just quarter of a way through the season at the moment, 4 out of 12 races, so it's definitely not over this early on.
Oh, definitely not, and we're only looking forward to the upcoming races, and well, let's see what it will take us. So, indeed, I would like to thank you all at home for being with us today. In a few hour time, we will have the WC going on, so don't go anywhere this evening. Next to me was Jonny Simon. I'm Chris de Jong, and thank you all for being us today. See you in 2 weeks.